Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I will be talking about self-control. Self-control. I am going to be stating the benefits of self-control. I am going to be defining what self-control is. I am going to be giving some examples where self-control can apply, to go from a broke loser to, a successful human being in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be within the finance spectrum. It can also be in health and fitness. It can also be in dating and relationship. Having self-control in general, how it takes you from being a shitty human being to a better human being in the long term. Let's go ahead and get into the video. So let's start by defining what self-control is. Well, self-control is the ability to manage one's impulses, emotions, and behaviors in order to achieve a long-term goal. If you're a retard, you'd ask me, well, why would you want to freaking manage, your impulses, your behaviors, and your emotions? Well, there's going to be certain situations where you have to be, where you have to have the proper emotions in order to be able to, go mitigate risk. There's going to be certain situations where you have to have the proper mindset in order to be able to pull something off, like a business venture, for instance, a side hustle, whatever it is. There's going to be certain situations where you're going to have to be able to control your impulses, at the wrong place, at the wrong time, where punching that motherfucker is probably not going to be the best idea, where you have to control your temper. Those are situations where self-control would be applicable and where they are going to benefit you in the long term, So let me give you guys some examples of self-control. Examples of self-control would be, let's say one of your New Year's resolution for 2024 was sticking to a 3-day gym schedule, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But you find out that Mondays go good, Wednesdays go 50-50. Sometimes you go, sometimes you don't go, but you get lazy on Friday and you just totally miss it. And you're already 2 weeks in the year. Self-control, having a self-control mindset at this point and how it's going to benefit you would be analyzing the situation, being self-aware of the situation and knowing that it's just laziness. Bringing in your self-control mindset would be, okay, I'm lazy Fridays. I know I have to go to the gym, but I don't feel like going to the gym Fridays. I try to skip going to the gym on Fridays. You would basically push that emotions, managing. It goes back to that management of emotions. You would basically manage that emotion knowing that you have a long-term goal. You want to achieve a long-term goal of a better fitness, better physical appearance or whatever it may be, better dating relationship, better whatever it is, you have a long-term goal. You would, manage your emotions. Even if you don't feel like it, you would do it, just because you have a long-term goal to achieve, So that's one example of where self-control can be important. Another example of where self-control can be important would be, let's say, another of your New Year's resolution for 2024 was to avoid or reduce the amount of time you spend on social media. Let's say you want to cut your social media screen time to 2 hours a day, but you find yourself going past 2 hours, upwards of 3 hours, or even 4 hours, double the amount of time you had wanted to limit this year. So self-control would be, again, you have to be aware of the issue, analyze the situation, come up with your diagnostics, which would be finding out the issue, which you can't control your impulses, and self-control would come in. If you have the mindset, that's the ability to come in and okay, I have this schedule already, I have this goal, I have this long-term achievement of limited my social media, presence or screen time. So self-control would be managing that addiction of social media, You would push that addiction to the side, you would set an alarm, whenever you hop online, and whenever it gets to the 2 hours mark, the alarm goes off. That's going to help you remember, okay, I got to get off my screen this time. And you stick to that schedule because it's going to be beneficial to you in the long term, reducing those hours you spend on social media to spend it in the real world. Could be developing a new skill, it could be working, it could be learning a new creative venture, whatever it may be. In the long term, it's going to pay off. So that self-control is going to be important in a situation like that and helping you, limit your screen time online and, reinvest those hours into doing something much more, beneficiary in the long term, Another instance of, or example of where self-control would be important would would be impulse buying. Let's say you're walking through the mall, you see a nice jacket in the men's clothing aisle, for instance, and you really want to get that jacket. You're like, screw it, I'm here, I might as well get it. The jacket costs $200. That's what you would do if you don't have self-control. What you would do if you have self-control would be you look at that jacket. I did not come here to purchase this jacket. Let's say you came, like you went to the mall with a female, with a girl, you guys are just walking around, or you went to the mall with your boys, just wanted to sightsee, but you didn't go with the plan of purchasing any content, any material that day. So you would remind yourself the reason why you had gone to that mall. I came to this mall to sightsee, to eye shop, to chill with the boys. I didn't come here with the preconceived notion of purchasing something or whatever. So where self-control would be important in a situation like that is, reminding yourself of the original reason you had gone to that mall. After you remind yourself, that's the analytical stage, analyzing the issue. You come up with the conclusion that you're not gonna get that jacket because that's not the main reason why you came to this mall. So you don't get that jacket and you just leave. That's another instance where self-control would be beneficiary to you. It'll stop you from impulse buying unnecessary items, because 9 out of 10, if you did wind up getting that purchase, if you did wind up buying that item, you would have buyer's remorse when you get back home, because it's gonna keep ringing at the back of your head. I did not go to the mall to buy this item. Why the fuck did I buy this item? You know what I'm saying? So you would have buyer's remorse. It's gonna be a lose-lose situation at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So you might as well have that self-control to, stop yourself from getting that item before you go back home and have buyer's remorse and try to refund it and get your money back or whatever it may be. So having self-control in that instance would be a beneficiary thing for you in that instance. So let's talk about types of self-control. Well, there are 3 types from the little bit of research I did of self-control. There's impulse control, there's emotional control, and there's movement control. Now you would ask, what is impulse control? Well, impulse control is the ability to manage one's urges and impulses. For instance, you're at the mall, or you're at a restaurant, or you're at a club even. Let's use a club example. You're at a club even, and you want to take a table, but someone jumps in front of you, gets that table, starts talking mad shit. You don't know that person. You don't know if he has a gang of, individuals there with him. And your first reaction was, let's say punching that dude, punching that motherfucker. But where self-control would be important is knowing, okay, I'm at a club right now. I don't know if he's got boys around. I don't know if they're gonna get me jumped. They could knife me. They could even murder me. Some people don't give a fuck. I don't know if you see the news. That's what happened a lot of the times. A fight starts, someone winds up getting shot or stabbed at a club. That's it. It could be you. So it's important to control your urges and impulses in situations like that, unpredictable situations where you don't know what the outcome may be. So I would advise you to have self-control, especially if you're someone who parties a lot or go out to, public places a lot. Managing your impulses, managing your urges are gonna be crucial in your long-term survival, so you don't wind up in situations where you get shanked or, gunned down because of stupid stuff, So you have to know the right moment to fight someone. Now, for instance, if it's in a public area, in an open space, someone keeps, physically and verbally assaulting you, repeatedly. Obviously, after you've warned the person for like 1 or 2 times, you've analyzed the environment you're in, and you figured out, okay, I don't think he's with anybody. You can go ahead and, light that motherfucker, get him to sleep, you know what I'm saying? Then leave that environment after you lit him up, But that is gonna be after you've warned him a couple of times, because then if the law does get involved, that would be, self-defense, because you gave him a couple warning, he kept pestering you, you had to defend yourself by lighting him up and, fleeing the environment. So yeah, it's important to control your urges and impulses. Impulse control is one of the benefits of a self-control. It's gonna save your life. You never know what it is, man. You never know where you're gonna be. And some motherfucker who doesn't give a fuck about life, they're always willing and happy to take someone else's life. So yeah, having the ability to control your impulses and urges is key to long-term self-development. Another one would be emotional control. That is the ability to regulate someone's emotion responses. Someone who struggles with emotional control is like, let's say for instance, you have a girl, you guys get in or arguments a lot of the time, and you find yourself throwing stuff, being a literal bitch, you know what I'm saying? Or even hitting her. If some guys go that far, you know what I'm saying? You do not have emotional control, and you have to learn self-control. Because when you do learn self-control is also gonna lead you to be able to control your emotional, it's gonna lead you to be able to have emotional management and control your emotions, because it's gonna save you from having, domestic violence charge, you know what I'm saying? So you don't wanna be punching the wall when your girl, because that's what girls do, man. They tend to do that a lot. They try to flare you up, especially when you're mad. They're gonna start talking shit. That's why your mom's a whore. Oh, that's why your brother's this, that. Just try to, walk out from that environment. Try to listen to music. Try to do something much more productive, and just totally ignore her. If she keeps pestering and it's gotten to the point where, you've had enough, I would recommend just dialing 911 and saying, hey, this chick is going crazy. Leave the environment. If she keeps following you, dial 911 like, hey, this chick's going crazy. I don't want to do anything, I don't want to, hit her or anything, but enough is enough. I want this to stop, get the law involved, that way it doesn't lead to a domestic violence charge, So yeah, being able to control your emotion, especially in an example like that, is going to be key to not getting a charge from a bimbo, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's another, benefit of self-control, being able to regulate your emotions and control your emotion. Heck, another example could be, let's say you were at a restaurant, for instance, and you ordered food and you were given a wait time of 10 minutes, but it wound up taking 40 minutes, for instance. A retard would start, yapping and bitching. Why did it take so long? Being all emotional about food, Again, it's a restaurant. Lots of people go there. Sometimes there are delays. Sometimes equipment probably broke down. They didn't want to tell customers, so they just take a little bit longer than expected. What you would do in that situation was like, oh, it took a little bit of time, but it's all good, And that would also show a little bit of remorse, like, yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry this happened. Next time it's not gonna happen. After that, you go ahead and you say thank you very much and you leave, But if you're a retard, you would start, bitching. This happens every time. I come here 40 minutes or 20 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Things happen, We're all humans. Things happen. So that'd be another instance where controlling your emotions would be key and would be beneficial to you, so you don't come out as a jerk to minimum wage freaking, McDonald's or Taco Bell employee. Another type of self-control would be impulse control. Impulse control basically is the ability to control one's body. A person who has difficulty, for instance, moving, or is like restless, always fighting themselves, wanting to do things, basically running themselves down every single time. They got to do things. They got to do different things. They got to be up, being nosy, doing whatever it could be. I'm trying to think of an example, for instance. Basically, someone who just want to keep, working. That's not sustainable. That's going to run your body down in the long term. So you want to be able to control your body. Give yourself a limited time range where you work. After working, you relax your body. You take sleep. Try to get 6 to 7 to 8 hours of sleep, ideally, to rest that body. Because I like to give this example. The body is your temple, it's the same as a vehicle. If you drive a vehicle for 24 hours straight, there's gonna be issues. I don't care what type of vehicle it is, The smart thing to do would be drive the vehicle for a couple hours, rest for 10 to 30 minutes, drive the vehicle for a couple hours. That's the smart thing to do. That also applies to the human body, Work, take a little bit of a break, 30 minutes to an hour, work, then sleep, you know what I'm saying? That's why we have breaks in between jobs. That's why we have, rest times in between jobs, because even employers know this. You're not supposed to work the body, but some employers try to overwork people. That's beside the point. But in general, if you find yourself doing too much, always working, always, stressing your body, that's not good, because in the long term, it's gonna affect your body. It's gonna affect your health. You know what I'm saying? So you would want to learn self-control, impulse control, to be able to control your impulses of working too much and doing too much. So those are the benefits of self-control. Like I said, emotional control, impulse control, and behavior control. Those are key factors in learning self-control. When you learn self-control, by default, you will slowly start learning all those aspects of self-control, and those are going to benefit you in the long term. It applies to different aspects of one's life. Wherever you find yourself in, those are also going to benefit you. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.